Imagine your innocent life turning upside down after searching for a simple video game. A game from your childhood which you thought was harmless. However, what you didn't know is that even while it was from your childhood and your memories flourish in good memories and exclude the lonesomeness and dark side of the game, you're not alone when you play the game. Every corner you turn, every quest you complete, every mask you obtain, every boss you defeat, every key you find, and every place you travel, there's something haunting you. Not much is known about it, but it goes by the name of Ben, and he will be watching you while you play the game The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Firstly, let's cover who Ben is. Ben is a name, and names are often associated with people and animals. I can't actually tell you who Ben is because I'm not sure if anyone knows who Ben is. Ben was just a save file of the actual cartridge, and apparently Ben was the grandson of the old man who gave Jadasable the cartridge. So then who is Jadasable? Well, he's the author of this story. Apparently the person who went through this hellhole of a nightmare too. He was in college and his friend gave him a Nintendo 64 with some games. After deciding he wanted Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, Jadasable ventured out to find it in some local sales. After no luck of finding the game, he heads off home until he finds one last sale. Deciding to give it a try, he comes across an old man. Luckily he has Majora's Mask, but it's not an official looking game. Instead, just a blank one with Majora written in black marker. Kind of like how you pirate a disc and write the name on the disc. Delighted, Jadasable takes it home and plays it. Loading the game, he notices a save file. Just a memory of the origins of the game, he just leaves it there and curates a new save file. The first unusual thing that happens is that on his save file, NPCs are calling him Ben, which shouldn't happen unless he's on Ben's file. Jadasable felt the need to go back and delete the Ben file to fix this error. He says regrettably deleting the save files, which could mean that the deletion of the file made this whole thing begin. Fix and not fix at the same time. NPCs wouldn't call him Ben anymore, but instead just call him nothing. Coming back to the game the day after, he got quite far in the game. Obtaining the lens of truth, Jadasable goes and does the fourth day glitch. For people who know this game, you have to glaze into the astronomer's telescope and quit viewing at a specific time to achieve it. After doing so, you should appear in the same room. However, Jadasable appeared in the Majora's boss battle room. There was the usual music, but Skull Kid was just staring at Link. Wherever Jadasable went, Skull Kid's eyes closely followed. Right before Jadasable turned off the Nintendo 64 and reset the game, text popped up. Apparently now he was in the stock pot inn getting the room key. Another glitch in the game had occurred. Next, more text came up. Would you like to go to the boss's lair? There was the option yes and no, but only yes you could choose. If you pressed no, nothing would happen. Accepting the offer, Jadasable was warped, but not to a boss, but to a new day. With no telling of what day because underneath the main text was a subtitle, a bunch of lines. The only description he could give was the Twilight Zone version of the clock town. All the people were gone, the dog was gone, the town was empty and alone. Well, not alone, there was something watching over him. Whether he could see it or not, Ben's gruesome eyes were always fixated on him, whether Ben was there or not. Something completely different that was recognized was the song here. The Song of Healing played in reversed. If you play the Song of Healing backwards on your ocarina, it's sorry a song, but when the actual composition of the music is reversed, it's creepy. Yet if you listen to it closely, you can still hear sorry a song in it. With the music there, you could hear the faint laugh of the Happy Mask salesman, who in this story definitely didn't deserve the name Happy. With the reverse music and the intolerable laugh, Jadasable was taking in consideration of his own safety, and if he was in any danger, which seems a bit far-fetched for just a game. For visual effects of Clock Town, textures were missing. Floors disappeared, seemingly walking on air. Now for how lonely Majora's Mask felt playing in the normal way, imagine how lonely Jadasable felt in the game. He does describe it as being the loneliest feeling in a game ever experienced before. He couldn't leave Clock Town either. Every time he tried to leave, he'd be spawned back in some random part of Clock Town. The ocarina never worked too. His notes echoed far, but no one heard him. It was as if he was trapped there. Coming up with a seemingly legitimate plan, he headed for the laundry pool, with thoughts of drowning himself to see if it fixed it. After entering laundry pool, the Happy Mask salesman appeared for a brief second with the Skull Kid's laughter. The statue, Elegy of Emptiness, Iconic Canyon. The statue was right behind Jadasable. With those deadly eyes staring at Jadasable, he felt haunted. He left and so did the statue. But the statue didn't leave for good. The statue left with the intention of stalking Jadasable. With a spawning animation of the statue right behind him, Jadasable realized this is more than a glitch or a bug in the game. Running to the swordsman's dojo for some reassurance of not total lonesomeness in the game, he was denied of it. The room was empty until he heads to the back of the dojo and the statue spawns again. With some laughter to add to the effect, Jadasable was scared and felt like he was being followed. Afterwards, he was in the tunnel of the astronomer's lab. He never even went there, he just teleported there. With a few seconds of rest, the Song of Healing came up again, getting louder and louder with huge amounts of suspense. Then came the following. Spawning behind him, Jadasable tried to escape, but there was nowhere to go. A reader screamed and it's a new day. Starting off in the Carnival Tower, Skull Kid was just there hovering. Attacking him with arrows, Link couldn't affect Skull Kid, until Link was picked up by Skull Kid without any contact. Floating in the air, Link graphically burned to death and was electrocuted. This is where one of the most famous lines came in. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Which is said by the Happy Mask salesman in the normal version of the game. The game was reset and he was at the title screen. Jadasable clicked start, but the save files were different. Your turn is what it said. Selecting the file, Link was getting killed by Skull Kid while the Skull Kid was laughing on a repeating animation loop. Later on, Jadasable decided decided to go to the old man's house again. Surprisingly enough, the house was up for sale and no one was there. The old man had vanished, no trace of him was left behind. This is the basic first post. It originated on 4chan at the paranormal section of the website on September the 7th, 2010. There's a lot more to the actual story, but it's kind of repetitive and too boring for a long script. In my original video of the episodes, I said that this statue was made by Jadisable. That's because I never got that far in the game before. I got stuck before getting the mirror shield and I stopped playing. After a bunch of comments, I completed the game and found out the statue was a part of the game. You use it to help you for the last temple. However, I still believe that Jadisable is implying that Ben is his statue in some form. The purple skull who teaches you the song says that it is an empty shell of yourself, a soldier who can help you. Did Ben take the slot up because the statue was empty and nothing was in it and decided to take it over? In the original video, I thought it was HB is real. HB was abbreviated. Now, I took the idea that it wasn't. Instead, I believe that HBIS is based on some letters with spaces and it makes up hubris. If you look on the Jadisable wiki, there's mention of hubris, and the binary code that Jadisable posted on his YouTube was a message encoded into a URL posted in within hubris forum. In my original episode, I talked about the bunch of numbers and how they meant nothing. What I also didn't know then is that I didn't know binary codes and computer language. Apparently it stands for it isn't clear yet. The actual video shows some form of credits, notes with times on it. The credit seems like some kind of log. Nothing seems so important now in the video when I watch back. Lastly, Kelbury. I wanted to run over this character again. Now I said he was an opposing force to Ben and I thought that was a fan-made character. After some research, he's apparently the part of the Moon Children cult on ysHDT.net. The line, my eyes, they took my eyes, came from that website, and probably they took my eyes.wmv was born. The actual image of Kelbury is a DeviantArt image titled Elephant Man, and the creator who made it has an earlier date than Jadisable's ARG. Finally, there was a video uploaded very recently while I was writing this script called KingKong.wmv. I just felt like quitting the script after watching the video, but I finished it off. Go watch it, and especially if you're scared of this story and you want to believe if it's real or not. Because I always have my belief on a story, but you have to decide whether it's real or not me. So go view the video, link is in the description, and you'll have an answer to whether this is real or not. Until then, Bolero says bye.